during the whole line, borderline, the activities are going on, targeting the northern and southern parts. Today we have already mentioned that the numerous artilleries have been used and new offensive has been undertaken, but the Armenian army has shown resistance and thrown them back. Accordingly, the information supported by the video materials has been made available, proving that the Azerbaijani army has been thrown back, and the tanks and the Azerbaijan army has lost 11 units of military machine, mainly tanks. Currently, the small fights are still going on there. The artillery has been massively used, and the shelling of the northern part, particularly Mardaket, took place, and also the representatives of the press were subjected to shelling. This much, the casualties and losses of the enemy are still being checked, and the wounded have been transferred to the hospitals. The majority of the wounded have only simple wounds, and some of them have already returned to the army. This much, and now I'll give the floor to my colleague Anna Naghdalyan, and then I will be ready to answer your questions. Thank you. As my colleague has mentioned, this is already the second day of the military actions, showing resistance to the Azerbaijani aggression. As I said yesterday, all our diplomatic missions are working in the emergency state, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has 10th of conversations with his foreign colleagues. And currently I would like to tell all the mass media that those conversations shall not be considered as a single-time actions, but they are continued contact and communication with all our colleagues and informing on the actions undertaken by the Azerbaijani army and the threats. Currently, I would like to say that we definitely need the support of the international community that would condemn the use of power and that will promote the efforts to get setting back the fifth. Clashing with the condemnation of using the power by the international community, Baku has used its regular toolbox, spreading false information. But this is not the first time we are facing this. The actual thing is that Baku has been faced with the condemnation of the military, of the international community, calling on them to refrain from using power. On the question which part particularly initiated the actions. Throughout the years, breaking up the ceasefire starting from 1994, the three-sided ceasefire signed from this, and also ignoring the investigations proposed by the Minsk group co-chairs. Actually, Azerbaijan has always tried to do everything to conceal those efforts and has always been actually preparing to initiate these actions. I would like to say that this aggression against Artsakh initiated by Azerbaijan has two specific features. First of all, the president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, has officially rejected the peaceful settlement of the conflict and expressed intention to settle it through the military actions. And the second, that official Turkey has expressed its support and involvement. Of course, Turkey has always been involved in providing support to the Azerbaijani side, but this time it is being proven by the military representative, because Turkish militants are fighting together with the Azerbaijani army and using the Turkish drones. As it has been made known, this has been brought to our attention, also Turkey has hired mercenaries fighting with them. And this time we can say that the Artsakh people is fighting against Azerbaijani Turkey Union. And this they are trying to execute genocide in the South Caucasus. The capacities of Artsakh and also the commitments and intentions are very strong, because this all refers to the historical motherland, and it all refers to the safety of the Armenian people. This much, and I'm ready to answer your questions. Liana Rafaelan, Shant TV. Ms. Naghdalyan, today the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has spread the statement that Turkey has dangerous involvement in all the action. Was it possible to outspread this statement to the international organizations, and how long we shall look forward for them to condemn Turkey? I have already said that our diplomatic service is fully employed, and the Armenian statement is already spread out, and also our colleagues from the army received this, so we are outspreading it in full to our colleagues, and all referring also to the current situation, and also the steps that we are facing, as well as the toolbox, both the conversation and the constant contact and communication of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with his colleagues. Just to wrap up the activities of the day, I would like to say that today we have the full condemnation of the international community of those actions, and we are sure to which particular side this refers, because our statements are supported by fact, and this has already been shared with our partners, and it is clear which side has initiated the aggression. And once again, I want to reassure you that those are not just single-time actions, but the continued ones, and the minister has already informed all his colleagues, and as the most important, the sustainable connection and communication with the Minsk Group co-chairs and representatives of the Minsk Group on the higher level. Thank you. Other questions? Armenian Times newspaper, Nicola Artsrun. My question to Mr. Hovhannisyan. Regarding the number of the wounded, is there any changes on the number of the wounded, and how many of them are heavily wounded? And also I would like to know about the current situation on the Armenian-Azerbaijan border. Regarding the number of the wounded, I would like to say that the number has actually increased, because the simple wounded soldiers have already returned to the army. About 100 and 120 wounded still remain in hospitals. As regards the situation on the Armenian-Azerbaijani border, situation after yesterday's shelling, actually the situation, there's no changes in the situation. On the heavily wounded ones, I cannot share any statistical data as of today because it hasn't been analyzed yet. Those that required professional medical services, they have been transferred to Yerevan and other specialized hospitals, and they continue receiving the medical services. Thus, using this opportunity, I would like to kindly ask our compatriots, the calls performed to Artsakh and to soldiers shall be limited and stopped. We continue to get back to those because this is for the first time, for the first place, is for the security of our sources. We've received a number of questions through the e-platforms, but the number of questions have already been answered. The wounded, the current situation on the Azerbaijan-Armenian border, Artsakh. This is the question to Anna Naghdalyan. Have you applied and called upon the international community to initiate the process of recognition of the independence of Artsakh? When Azerbaijan has started the full-line aggression and this issue has actually became a very topical for the preservation of the security and ensuring security of people of Artsakh. There is an exact list of tools developed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and which is prioritized, and all those tools are used in but according to the diplomacy practice, we do not publish the steps that will be undertaken. I would like to assure you that there is an exact toolbox and it is being utilized accordingly in order to provide the comprehensive security for the Artsakh people. Thank you. And now there have been other questions, but I would not repeat them because they have actually been already answered by Ms. Naghdalyan and myself, and regarding the political rhetorics and complaints. And another question on the format of the fights going on. I already said that there are actual fights going on, and very soon the information will be shared with you either from here or from Stepanakert. Thank you.